We're previewing Week 13 here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We're talking right now with Scott Kellen from 6centsports.com, very well-respected NFL handicapper who is coming off of a great week at his site and gave us a great, very, very sharp pick last week on New England over Denver. Scott, thanks for being back with us this week.
Hey, not a problem. Thanks for having me, Peter. And that was an easy one with New England last week. Right?
Right. All right, the second game you're going to take is Atlanta-Buffalo. Interesting game and handicapping situation. Before we get into it, brag a little bit about how well you did last week and tell us a little about your website.
Yeah, 6centsports.com. I had a great week last week, 5-2, and laid off a few games that would have won too, so I wish I would have played them as well. But it was a great week for us, and last year at this point, I think weeks 13 through 17, we won every week, so I would expect we're going to do that again this year. The numbers are certainly coming together, and I'm also a system player as well, so the situations are going to be, I think, good for us. Get some contrarian things happening late in the year where teams have, kind of given up, but that also provides some value. That paid off last week, and we're an NFL-only handicapping site, 9 out of 11 winning years, and we put every play up there 30 minutes after the kickoff, so we're very transparent. You can go out and see every game we're playing and see our records for the last 11 years as well. 6centsports.com.
Okay, sounds great. And you're also 11-7 against the spread in our videos all year long. All right, the second game you're going to take, Atlanta-Buffalo, and this, of course, is the game being played at the Rogers Center in Toronto. Buffalo's a 3 or 3.5 point favorite. I guess you call them a home favorite if you want, but they've not done well in these games at the Rogers Center. They have not done well against the spread either. They're 1-4 straight up, 1-3-1 against the spread. But in this week, they're coming off a bye and they're playing Atlanta, which is a team that is really decimated, and it's not a big line, 3 or 3.5. So, I guess I would lean towards Buffalo, despite their historically bad record at the Rogers Center. But the total also looks kind of appealing to me. 46 looks a little high. These games have gone under also. I'm leaning Buffalo and the under. What do you think?
I'll lean Buffalo. Like I said, I'm a system player, so I don't have anything that I found yet on Buffalo. So kind of looking for reasons to play them. If I could find something, I might be on them. But I'm going to go opposite with you in this. I like the over in this game.
Okay.
The one worry here will be, can Atlanta score enough and do their share of scoring in this game? But short of that, and I also understand, like you said, Peter, and I think you're dead on, these games in Toronto have not been super high scoring. But this is a little bit different Buffalo team now. And, they've never run the no-huddle in previous years. They're running the no-huddle this year, the hurry-up offense. They've slowed it down a little bit to try to get different formations in and whatnot. But they're still, I think, the fourth fastest team from a pace standpoint in the league this year. Obviously, Manuel's back, and they actually like to do that as well just to make the offense that much easier for him as well. So they're going to continue to go no-huddle. And, whenever you're taking it over, obviously that doesn't hurt you as well. And ironically, I've looked back. This is the first bad defense this year that Buffalo has actually played this year. They've actually played some really good defenses. With all that said, when E.J. Manuel has started this year, they've scored 20 or more in every single game. And they've also allowed 20 or more in every single game except for 2 weeks ago against the Jets. So their defense is actually finally somewhat healthy, I think. So their defense has played well. You got an Atlanta team who hasn't scored a ton of points. I get that. I understand that. But, again, from an offensive standpoint, Buffalo's going to get Stevie Johnson, Robert Woods back. Marquise Goodwin has been a very nice surprise for them as well. I think they've got a lot of weapons to attack Atlanta, and this is an Atlanta defense that prior to last week had allowed 23 or more in every single game, 27 or more in 4 or 5, and 7 of 9 games. Buffalo's going to get their points. I think they can easily, despite the past history at this location, I think they can get to 30 points in this game. And Atlanta can score, I think, in garbage time. They scored 28 a couple weeks ago at Tampa Bay when they were getting killed. And I know they haven't scored a lot of points recently. I mean, look back. They scored only 13 last week, 10, 13 the weeks before that, sandwiched around that 28-point effort at Tampa. But even if Buffalo blows them out here, I think Atlanta can just get some garbage points in the end. And surprisingly, I make the total 53 in this game, so I think we have a ton of value towards the over. It's a fairly low number. 46 is a very manageable number, even if this game starts out a little bit slow. And the one thing Atlanta can do, even though Roddy White's banged up and not really contributing much anymore, they can still throw the ball. You've got a veteran quarterback in Matt Ryan there who can move the ball for them. They're above average throwing the ball this year, certainly below average defending it. I think Buffalo gets to at least 30 points in this game. The question is, can Atlanta get to 17 or more? I think they can. I'm going to play the over.
All right, well, just processing what you're saying, I mean, the way I see this game turning out is if this game does go over, right, then that's got to be implied that Buffalo -3 would be a great bet, because if it goes over, what? Because Atlanta wins, because Atlanta puts up 30 or Atlanta puts up 27? I mean, if it goes over, I'm assuming it's a blowout by Buffalo, or at least a win of more than 3.
I think you're right. I mean, I don't see a 27-24. I mean, obviously I would take that, or even a 24-23 type game, right? Could Atlanta do that? Sure, they could do that, but I don't think you can count on that. So you're right, and so I think there's a lean towards Buffalo. Also, if you can find the team total points on Buffalo, that's probably going to be 24.5, 25 maybe. Obviously, 24 would be golden. I would look to go over on that as well, just based on they're finally healthy on offense, and they're going to run that hurry up as they always do, and they're going to be playing just a horrible Atlanta defense. As I said, I think the only question in this game is really can Atlanta do their share. I think they'll be able to do enough because they've got a manageable enough number to work with. But, yeah, I think Buffalo's going to get that 27, 30 points and possibly more in this game.
All right, I think that's great. Or you could do maybe a possibly correlated parlay that will definitely allow with Buffalo -3 and the over. But your official pick on this one is just going to be on over 46, huh?
That's correct. Yep, absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much, Scott Kellen from 6centsports.com. We will talk to you again next week.